Okay, 6.3 properties of parallelograms. Okay, the word right there, parallelograms. What do you think they have? Parallel sides. Yes. Okay, so they have two sets of parallel sides. So AB. Can you see that color?
Yes.
AB is parallel to what? CD. DC. How about we'll go D because D and A correspond? Just because. Okay. And then AD is parallel to what?
BC.
BC.
After death, before Christ.
Okay, so does it make sense that the opposite sides are parallel? Yeah, because the adjacent sides can't be parallel because they're touching, and the definition of parallel means they never touch, right? Okay. And BD, so BD is what? A transversal. So BD is a transversal of the two parallel lines. So do I have all the properties that come with that? Yes, I have alternate interior angles are congruent. Yes. I have same side interior. I have all that fun stuff. Okay. Now, oh, and congruent parts. Parts are congruent. If BD is a transversal, then also what?
CA.
Well, let's do AC. Okay. So this is also a transversal, yes? Okay. Clear? Got it? So definition of parallelogram has how many sides? 4. So it is a what kind of a shape? Quadrilateral. Okay, it's a quadrilateral. What do the interior angles measure up to be? 360 from our 180 and minus 2, right? So there's lots of things we can do. If they do not have those things, are they parallelograms? No. Okay, given the parallelogram XW, XYZ, what is, what's missing there? A line, right? What is YZ? 3.27. Bless you. And then if I wanted XY, it would be what? 5.09. Because I made two congruent triangles, yes? Bless you again. Because this angle matches this angle because they're alternate interior, yes? And this angle matches this angle. And this angle has to match this angle because if it's congruent triangles, then corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Yes? Okay. Okay. Consecutive angles theorem. Now I'm going to go back here real quick. So when I made no, I'm just going to go to it. Never mind. Okay, consecutive angles theorem. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the consecutive angles are not congruent. Consecutive angles would be B and A. It would be B and C. Get it? It'd be these two, it'd be these two, it'd be these two, and these two. They are, yeah, well, that means consecutive. Supplementary. Why?
Supplementary is
yeah, supplementary means they're equal 180. And if all of those angles were congruent, yes. So like here, I drew that in there. These two but this whole thing is what I would, that's the problem. They're all, like these two are congruent, these two are congruent. So they just have to equal 180. Because the whole thing equals what? 360. And we meet at those triangles and all that kind of fun stuff. Okay, bisector theorem. If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Again, if it is a quadrilateral and a what? Parallelogram. It has to be both. Not all quadrilaterals does this apply to. Then the diagonals bisect each other. So what does that mean? When they meet, what do they break it up into? Half. Now, it didn't say that this does not say the diagonals are congruent. It says that they bisect each other, right? So each piece is congruent to its opposite side. Does that make clear what I'm saying? Okay. We can't assume anything that's not true. Okay. Quadrilateral PQRS is a parallelogram. What is the value of X and all of the side lengths? So I have to find what first? X, and then plug it in. Okay, so how are we going to find X? There's a couple of different ways. Well, 360 applies to the angles. Are we dealing with angles? No.
2x plus 12 plus 5x minus 3 plus 7x minus 3 plus 4x equals 180.
You could just say add like.
Okay, but 180 is angles, and we're talking about sides. What do we know about the sides, guys? They're congruent, yes, but they're not all congruent.
So you can put the.
So 4x equals what? 5x minus 3. Or 7x minus 3 equals 2x plus 12. So Tori's side gets to do 7x minus 3 equals 2x plus 12. And this side over here gets to do 4x equals 5x minus 3. Should we get the same answer? Okay, so both of you do it, and I'll have to do both of them. Okay, did you get x equals 3? Okay, if I did it twice, you should be able to do it once. Both of them got x equals 3, yes? So does it matter which one I do? No, but it has to be the opposite sides. It can't be the adjacent side, can it? Okay, so now what? We have to plug them back in, and we're going to plug them in all of them to make sure we're doing it right. So 4 times 3 is 12. So this other side better be 12, right? So 15 minus 3 is 12. Okay, then 21 minus 3, 18. 18, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. And then 6 plus 12, 18. That was kind of fast, but are we good? Okay. Now that was sides. You guys kept throwing angle stuff. The only thing we know about the angles is the opposite angles are what? Congruent. We don't know what their perimeter equals unless it tells me. Now, who said add them all up? Did you say add them all up, Nick? Or who said add them all up, the sides? Destiny did. Okay, so if it gave me something about the perimeter, could I added them all up and then set it equal to the perimeter? Yes, but it didn't. Okay, given the parallelogram ABCD, what is the measure of A, B, and C? So what do we know? Well, D is 114.
Yeah, wouldn't B be 114 as well, since A and C are...
These angles are congruent, yes?
Yep.
So angle B is congruent to angle D. We're saying Y, right? Which is equal to 114. Okay. And we know that angle A is congruent to angle
C.
C, which is equal to what?
You could add the 114, 114 subtracted by 360 and divide by 2.
Okay, so we could do that. Anybody got a quicker way? She said to add 114 and 114, subtract it from 360, because that's the total, and then divide it by 2.
Could you one of them minus 180?
Yeah, because we were told that consecutive angles equal what? 180? And didn't I give you that rule? Yep. So I can take 180 minus 114. And you notice I used the angle that I was given just in case for some reason I can't write 114 when I know it's 114, right? So what do we get? 66?
Yeah.
So 66 degrees? Questions? Okay. Make sure you're writing the work so you don't come back and go, how'd we get 66? Okay, given the parallelogram, the important word we keep getting is what? Parallelogram. GHJK, what is the value of A and GHJ and K? So they gave me some information about H and G. Do H and G have a relationship? Yes, they do. They're supplementary because those are adjacent, yes? What does supplementary mean? 180. So what do I need to do with H and G? But what do I need to do with H and G? Add them. So I need to add them. So I have A and 8A. So I have how many A's? 9A. And then positive 5, negative 5. So that would be, so equals, why does it equal 180? Because those two are supplementary. Divide by 9, and I'm pretty sure A is 20? Nope, not 20 degrees, just 20, right? Okay, so I know that angle H is congruent to angle what? K. And how are we going to find it? Plug in A. So 20 plus 5. So it equals 25 degrees. See how I'm showing my work? Is that what you should do? Can you hear my rocks rattling when I shake my head? Okay. Angle J is congruent to angle G, which is equal to 8 times 20 minus 5. And probably should write 20 and not 2, huh? If I want to get the right answer. Okay, so 160 minus 5 is 155, 155 degrees. Could I have also taken 180 minus 25? Which would give me 155. But the problem with this, if I messed up 25, would I mess up that? Yes. What should these two equal? 180, do they? Do you see there's lots of checks that I can do? And you can add 25 and 155 in your head, can't you? Yeah? Okay. Given the parallelogram RSTU, SU is 35, KT is 19. What is SK and what is RT? So what should I do? And there's missing a lot of lines, aren't there? What should I do with 35 and 19?
Divide them by 2.
What should I write them on my picture?
Yeah.
Yes. So this whole thing, well, I guess the whole thing is 35. And the whole thing is 19. So since it is a parallelogram and these are the diagonals, what do I know they do to each other? Bisect. So this is this and this is this. So I think Destiny said I should do what with these numbers? Okay, so KS or SK is equal to 35 divided by 2. So 2 goes into 3 how many times? 1. Carry a 1. 2 goes into 15. 7. Add a 0, carry a 1. 0.5. Nothing ever said we get whole numbers, does it? No. Now, I did divide by 2 because dividing by 2 is really easy, right? If I had it by 3, I would just leave it and reduce and leave it over 3. Unless it went in there. You know, does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay, and then KS or KT is what? 19 divided by...
Wait, why are we dividing? We can define RT, which is the whole thing.
I messed up when I labeled. Because on this one, SU was the whole thing, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I put on the whole thing. But KT is only what? Only that much. So then I have to multiply it by 2. I messed up on my label. I was assuming, which is not good, right? So 19 times 2 is 38. And if I had units, I'd put units, right? Like inches, centimeters, whatever. Are we going too fast for anybody? We good?
It's supposed to be a T.
Yeah.
I'm just confused.
Sometimes if my hand is touching the screen as I'm trying to write, it isn't right. Okay, last example. Okay, given the parallelogram GHJK, if PK is 4, so this is 4, yes? And HK, so HK is the whole thing, is 2/3 GJ. What is GP? Well, what do we know? We know HK is 8 because HP is 4, right? Thank you. So it also tells me that HK is 2/3 GJ, doesn't it? So 8 equals 2/3 GJ. Is that what it means? Okay, how did I get 8 equals 2/3 GJ? Because 4 plus 4, because HK is the whole thing. So now I probably should solve that for GJ, right? So if I have times 2/3 and I want to move it over, what do I multiply by? What? 3/2. The reciprocal? Because I want to move the whole thing. If I didn't want to move the whole thing, I would just multiply by 2, right? And that is 8/1. We should always reduce before we multiply. We can reduce up and down and diagonally. So does 2 go into 8?
Yeah.
How many times? 4. So 2 goes into 2 once. 2 goes into 8, 4. So 1 times 1 is 1, so it's a whole number. 3 times 4 is? So 12 equals,
12 equals GJ.
okay. How did that help me?
It gives you the whole thing to divide it by.
So it gave me the whole thing.
So GPE is 6.
So GP is 12 divided by 2, which is 6. Now, Are some of them we're going to have to work a little harder than others? Yes. Is it doable? Can you get a decimal? Yes. Probably not going to get a decimal that goes on and on and on forever, right? I would assume dividing by 2, it should end in a 0.5 or a 0. So if you get 0.3, should you check your work again? Okay. Questions, guys? None? Okay. So you have page 268, 5 through 12, and 18 through 20. So not a whole 11 problems. Should they go pretty quick? Yes. Do not write in your book. I know some people have been saying they have books that people wrote in. Please do not write in your book. If you need to draw on it, should you all be able to draw a parallelogram on your piece of paper? Yes. It's not like a